Hello there, everybody out there. It is the time of season again when I have to go through my collection and see what I will keep or not. The yearly culling is finally ended, and it wasn't all that big culling this time. I felt like I had no need to do a huge culling among full-length vinyls or full-length CDs. I mean, if you have a shelf that looks like this, you feel that you have too much records. I have, with the buying of a new record shelf of vinyls and 2 new CD shelves last year, I'm still having so much space that I felt like I saved the huge culling of full-length vinyls until when I are in a more desperate need of space. Actually, now I have as much space as I want. So, but vinyl singles, on the other hand, that was another matter, because I had some problems with those lately. So I've been doing a huge culling. There will be a huge amount of vinyl singles this time. Some vinyls, not many though, as I said, and very little CDs. So let's go to the big part immediately. Hopefully this won't be all too long. I will try to take this as fast as I can, and hope that you knows as many of the artists I'm showing as possible. Starting with vinyl singles, the huge stack of vinyl singles that I'm going to ship away out of the door. Here is a single I bought at the flea market last year in Timrå. I thought was good, but it was pretty crappy 70s soul. Wasn't as good at all. Van McCoy, changed with the times. So long. This one, Alan Parsons Project, Standing on High Ground, I have a double of. I realized that it is duplicate. This one I showed in I think one of the previous vinyl CD updates, so you know that I thought that this was crappy Milli Vanilli wannabes. Oh well, with I'll be forever your man. And crappy also, I showed this one at the same time, Candyman, Melt in Your Mouth, crappy rap. This is jazz album that I had for quite some time, but I feel like it's a lot of Dixieland style and a lot of stuff that I have already, so I felt I won't be needing this double EP, Man with a Horn, with a lot of trumpet players. Classical album, trying to get rid of these Musical Masterpiece Society labels. MMS, I hate those. I hate the sound of them. Low budget is it's a too good word actually. So this is Bach Brandenburg Concerto No. 3. I have the entire Brandenburg Concerto, of course. Alfred Hause and his orchestra playing tango favorites. Why did I ever buy it? More MMS records with Frédéric Chopin, played by Sondra Bianca, whoever that is. We have some cantate, some singing classical music. John Dolan, John Blow, British classical music. I'm not too fond of vocal classic music, opera and such stuff. I gave this one a try. It was a Hammond organist that was one at the vinyl community. I think it was Vinyl Vault Dave, wherever he is right now, who gave a tip of Dave Baby Cortez. But I thought it was that was kind of Hammond rock music. I felt was not my style. This one I bought. This was Swedish country. He sings like a crap, but wasn't cult either, so I felt like uninteresting. Janet Jackson Escapade, duplicate. Irene Cara Fame, I have this one with a proper sleeve, so I won't be needing this one. Swedish rocker Jerry Williams, Did I Tell You? This one is a Swedish classic, but I always thought this one is kind of boring. I'm not needing it. Billy Ocean Loverboy, duplicate, I have this one in the double of it. Billy Ocean Caribbean Queen, I have this one also duplicate. Miami Sound Machine, Falling in Love, duplicate, I have this one already. London Boys, Requiem, also duplicate. London Boys, My Love, also duplicate. London Beat, I've Been Thinking About You, duplicate. Audrey Landers, some of you may remember as Afton in Dallas, Manuel Goodbye, pretty cheesy, uninteresting. I kept it because it was her, but I felt like no. Imagination, Just an Illusion, duplicate. Whitney Houston, How Will I Know, duplicate. Swedish singer Anders Glenmark, Mare Mare, duplicate. I have a lot, realized how many duplicates I have. Expose, When I Looked at Him, duplicate. The Jacksons, without Michael Jackson, from a Whoopi Goldberg movie, I guess, called Burglar, Time Out for Burglar. Sorry. Wasn't Jackson's best song. Was pretty boring. Lonnie Gordon, Beyond Your Wildest Dreams, one of Stock Aitken Waterman's most boring productions. Shane Gold, Spider-Man, boring. Swedish singer Guz, wasn't all that interested. Swedish disco, 80s disco, but this didn't become a hit at all. Nobody remembers it. I think it's boring. Semia Hamilton and Tommy Nilsson, Swedish duet from a movie called Time. Was pretty boring. Dan Hartman, Hurts to Be in Love. Felt like not Dan Hartman's best song. German disco, 80s disco artist Fancy singing Beatles, All My Loving. As you may know, All My Loving is one of my favorite Beatles songs, but this one was pretty horrible. Some of the worst. I loved Fancy a lot, a great 80s artist, but it was one of the worst Beatles covers I've heard. Falco, alongside with Brigitte Nielsen, Body Next to Body. Felt like, no, I wouldn't be needing it. I like Falco, but that one was not a good one. Cold Word with Club Nouveau, boring. CC Catch, House of Mystic Lights. It's produced by Dieter Bohlen from Modern Talking, and I like Modern Talking, but CC Catch, I have hard time listening to her voice, and this one was one of the most uninteresting singles by her. Eric Carmen, I Want to Hear It From Your Lips. I don't like Eric Carmen one bit. I think it's pretty boring. Irene Cara, Girlfriends, one of her most uninteresting songs actually. Jonathan Butler, Holding On. Like Jonathan Butler, but I have it on the full-length vinyl, and I think that it's not that interesting to have it on single. Culture Club, Karma Chameleon, sure is a classic, but I never liked this song. Never liked. I don't understand why I bought it from the first place. So, goodbye. Annika Boller, a Swedish singer, once again a Swedish 80s disco, no one remembers. St. Paul de Vence, but didn't have the melody that I enjoyed. Baby's Got a Neutron Bomb, Army of Lovers, Swedish disco, not interesting. Blue Pearl, Naked in the Rain, duplicate, I have this one. If I have shown one of these from previous culling videos, please forgive me. But I think all these ones are stuff that I haven't that will be culled this year. Two of Us, Blue Night Shadow. I remember listening to the first time. I thought it was pretty horrible. I think they're German. Marlon Jackson, Don't Go. Well, off you go. Gail Dorsey, Just Another Dream. We have an Italo disco version of Moricante's Jackie Jackie. And I'm a Man. I think that was the reason I bought it, because it is Chicago's I'm a Man in some kind of a disco style by group Clubhouse, but it was horrible. Skotorp, some totally unknown Swedish group with On a Long Lonely Night, uninteresting. Drifters, not the soul group Drifters, this is Swedish Drifters. Fröken Mittuppslag, I bought it because I thought it was some kind of cult classic, but it was just boring. Stacker Humanoid by Humanoid, I have this one already, it's a duplicate. Swedish group Small Talk, Give Me My Heartbeat Back. I have no reason, it was uninteresting. Stutz, Ta Min Hand, Swedish group, was boring. Hypnotech, Ready or Not, uninteresting kind of rap disco from the 80s. ABC, Tears Are Not Enough, duplicate. H2O, Just Outside of Heaven, uninteresting. We have Alarm, Absolute Reality. I bought this one as a double EP set in Gothenburg, so I felt like I won't be needing this one, because both of the songs are on that one. So we call it a duplicate. Glenn Spove, Swedish singer that also have been singing with the Mountain and so on, but here he sings disco, Blue Islands, horrible. This is Frida from ABBA, and with B.A. Robertson in some kind of a musical song called Chime, uninteresting. Playgirl, La Velle, in uninteresting 70s disco. This one I've shown before. This is not These Smithereens with Paul Denisio. This is Dutch Smithereens that was pretty horrible. I bought it, of course, because I thought it was These Smithereens. Barbara Dixon, January, February. Boring. Aha, Manhattan Skyline, duplicate. Visitors, Virgin Eyes, duplicate. Swedish pop from the 80s. Swedish synth pop from the 80s, Ratata. Ge inte upp, Don't Give Up. Extremely great song, but it is a duplicate. And we have Doctor and the Medics with their version of ABBA's Waterloo. Horrible version. Animotion, I Want You. I have the album with them, and it doesn't interesting enough to have a single. Junior, Oh Louise, uninteresting 80s soul. John Evangelis, and When the Night Comes, I preferred I'll Find My Way Home, because this one was uninteresting. Tim Finn, How Am I Gonna Sleep? Tim Finn from Crowded House. I had this one for long, but I felt like I won't be needing it. We have Akasa, who is Israeli, some kind of disco singer. Kama Sutra. She had a great single called One Night in My Life that I love very much, but the second single was uninteresting. Gary Moore, Still Got the Blues, duplicate. We have Comcan, British, call it the disco synth pop. Harry Houdini. I prefer, I beg your pardon, because this one was totally uninteresting. Corey Hart, Can't Help Falling in Love, Beatles song. I have this one already. Lloyd Cole, Without the Commotions. She's a Girl and I'm a Man from 91. Definitely not Lloyd Cole's best song. Lisa Cult Jam from Head to Toe. I don't enjoy Lisa Cult Jam all that much. A couple of singles with Swedish singer Lucrezia. She became had a lot of radio plays, but didn't become all that famous here in Sweden. Uninteresting songs. the bird dance in the Dance Little Bird in some kind of cover version that is pretty horrible. We have Eddie Money, Take Me Home Tonight, pretty boring rock ballad. Swedish, some kind of pop, 80s pop that no one remembers, Shangri-La with Mary Mario, uninteresting. SH, the start band for Swedish singer Staffan Hellstrand, that I enjoy very much, but his previous group, SH, is another thing. Öst Berlin, East Berlin, wasn't all that interesting. REO Speedwagon, That Ain't Love, not this either. Time Bandits, Star, not the best single with Time Bandits. We have Yes with from 1984, Leave It. I think this is some kind of a follow-up to Owner of the Lonely Heart, but this one was definitely more boring. Womack and Womack, MPB, Missing Persons Bureau, uninteresting. Twice, the sisters of Transdance, Swedish group, but in their own group, was pretty uninteresting. So that was a huge stack of vinyl singles. We have here the very few CDs that I'm giving up on. This is Toad the Wet Sprocket, Fear. Some of you remember that I made this worst buying of 2017. So to no one's surprise, it's goodbye. Katrina and the Waves, Edge of the Land from '93. Definitely not the best Katrina and the Waves album. They're having a '93 version of Walking on Sunshine, and that one sucks. So goodbye. Swedish singer Louise Hofsten alongside with Lasse Englund and Esbjörn Svensson trio. This one was pretty boring. So I love Louise Hofsten, but this one was not my style. And James Taylor Quartet, Get Organized. Definitely uninteresting Hammond organ music, I think. Maybe I should buy earlier James Taylor than this one. This one was from 91 or 90. Full-length vinyls. We have a little stack, not many. These are all that I've giving away. Mike Marine, Italo Disco, that I bought for 10 cents only. Let's Start Now, but this one was uninteresting, 80s Italo Disco, unfortunately. Sandra, Into Secret Land. I love this artist extremely much, but this is a duplicate. I have this one already in a better shape, better copy. A couple of albums without a sleeve that I have found with sleeve, so I won't be needing the ones without sleeve. This is Lou Rawls, All Things in Time, that I already have, and the same goes with Yazoo, or Jazz as many Americans call them, and they're Upstairs in Eric that I have in a much better copy with sleeve. This is a 12-inch of the Shaman's, British group Shaman, and their single Coming On, without any radio version, of course. So I have found a real CD single, maxi single, so I won't be needing this one, since it's not any original version at all. Big beatbox beats. This is Italo Disco, but it's mixed together, so there is, as you can see, no real tracks here. It's a long mix of different kind of Italo Disco, and the ones here are, with a few exceptions, pretty boring, so I won't be needing it. Swedish singer Lasse Berghagen, En värld i toner, A World in Tones, duplicate. I'm giving up on two Engelbert Humperdinck albums that I won't be needing. First of all, this one, We Made It Happen, which contains some horrible covers, a horrible cover of Stevie Wonder's My Cherie Amour. And this one, 12 great songs plus Release Me, Engelbert Humperdinck. Also, I feel like too much country for my style. This is jazz in black and white. Black and White is a French jazz label that I like very much normally, but this is just an ordinary compilation of different kind of songs that they call it promotion compilation for the label, with different songs from jazz history. Lou Armstrong, Duke Ellington, and so on. Some of the most ordinary jazz songs, so I feel like I won't be needing it. I have many of them on other better versions. Lee Moll, Don't Suppose. I said before, I'm not a fan of Lee Moll as a solo artist, with some few exceptions, and those I have on single. This album was pretty much boring. I prefer Lee Moll much more than he is in Kajagogo, because this album was a huge disappointment. I remember when I bought it. This is Polish-British singer Beja and Time and Tide. A friend of mine, Otto, was showing this artist to me a long time ago, and I thought it was pretty cool, so I made a cassette copy of it and bought the record, and realized that this was not as good as I thought that back then. And the interesting thing is that he also has lost interest in Beja, so Errol Garner, Amsterdam concert. I bought this one in Gothenburg, not realizing that I already had this one, so I don't need a duplicate. Another duplicate, Americans in Sweden, 1954 to 59. Also, this is a compilation of different kind of Swedish-American corporations in jazz. A great album, but I have this one already. Best of Harry Edison. I like Harry Edison's older stuff, but this one was from 1980, and I thought it was pretty uninteresting. And finally, an album that I bought in Stockholm last year. This is 1959 Monterey Jazz Festival. This is more or less Jimmy Witherspoon show, and he makes it pretty uninteresting. It's not my style at all, so I'll give it away. So it was. It seems like forever. It was a smaller culling than usual. So I have found a way to keep most of my full-length albums, actually, by finding space for a couple of more shelves, so I won't be needing a lot culling this year. So save that one for when I'm more in need of more space. So with that, I hope that each and every one of you have a real nice time, no matter where you are, no matter what you do. Take care in the snow or whatever you're having, what kind of winter you have, and so long.